Greetings, YouTubers, back yet again for another one. And this time we're going to go through and I'm going to show you guys my German Mediabook collection of my Nightmare on Elm Street series. And if I can do this with one hand, if you line up all the spines, you'll see Freddy peering through a slash in the spines of the movies. It looks really good. So we're going to go through and I'm going to show you all 8 movies, and it's 8 and not 9 because Freddy vs. Jason is not in this set. So we're going to go through and show you the original from 1984, and we're going to go all the way through to the remake, which I can't remember when the remake came out, but I think it was 2010. I think it came out a year after the last Friday the 13th movie. So let's take a look at the media books. These were put out by Warner Brothers. They are Blu-ray DVD combos. And I'm going to pause it here. We're going to look at the cover art. We're going to flip through the pages, and we're going to talk a little bit about these movies. So this is the one that kicked it off. This is one of the best horror movies, in my opinion, ever. This movie scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. It came out in 1984. This is an iconic cover, one of the best posters ever. You can see Nancy Thompson laying in her bed, trying to stay awake, looking at the ceiling, and you can see Freddy just can't wait to mess with her, get in her head. And this is a really beautiful edition. You can see the spine there. Oh, see if we can get this thing to focus. And on the back, everything is in German. And unfortunately, I don't read German, but I mean, the quality is impeccable. The Germans really put a lot of effort into their beautiful releases. They're really, really phenomenal. I will continue to purchase. The only thing that's a little bit disappointing is I'm having a hard time finding a kind of a buying partner in Germany. Now there is a eBay Germany, and when I go over there, there's a ton of stuff on the German eBay website that is not available in US or even in Canada, because I go on the Canada site too. And I go on the European, the British eBay. And there's a lot of German sellers will not ship to the US, and I think it's because there's a lot of taxes that go on. They have to pay a lot of extra taxes, and it's unfortunate because I'm the one that's losing on that. You know, I'm missing out on all these beautiful releases and all these great quality collectibles because I don't blame the German sellers for not wanting to have to deal with that headache. If there's any German viewers that watch my videos, if you want to kind of form some kind of a pipeline, because there's a lot of media books and stuff that I would love to purchase, and I'll make it worth your while. Just let me know. You can either comment here, or you can go to my Patreon page, or yeah, I think that's all. I'm not going to give an email or a phone number, just because there's a lot of other people, there's a lot of trolls and stuff that would misuse that kind of information. I try to keep my personal identity private for the most part, so I'm not comfortable giving that kind of info. But if you want to just leave a comment and we can figure out how to get in contact, let's do that. So here is it looks like this is the DVD. It's region 2. Look at how young Heather Langenkamp was. Hard to believe that Wes Craven died 10 years ago already, in 2015. I believe he had a... Did he have a brain? He had brain cancer, I think is what it was, or a brain tumor. Very young Johnny Depp. What a great cast. He played Glenn. He was Nancy's boyfriend. And then you have Tina and Rod. That was a very chilling murder, and they blamed Rod, obviously. I mean, who would think that there was a man, a monster, killing people in their dreams? And then when she was getting pulled around in that body bag during that dream sequence, that was creepy. This whole movie was excellent. And another thing I really liked about Freddy was he would talk a little trash, you know. As the franchise went on, it got a little bit silly, I think. It started to get way too silly for me, for my liking. But this particular scene here where Nancy's talking to Glenn and they're trying to stay awake. Freddy comes in and he says, "I'm your boyfriend now," and he's, you know, trying to get a little tongue through the phone. John Saxon played Mr. Thompson, who was Nancy's father, and I thought he was fun. I thought the mother played a great role. I believe, well, I know John Saxon has passed away now. I believe the mother is now gone as well, too. Look at that, Freddy fucked. I don't know what that means, but it sounds pretty good. Yeah, this is a classic. This is definitely, to me, a top 5 in my list. I'd be curious to hear where you would put this in your list. And if you want to make a top, I don't know, top 5 Nightmare on Elm Street movies, or if you want to rank them all, it's up to you. Or you don't have to do it at all. But this may be another video at some point that I'll do a ranking. There's that classic iconic scene where Nancy's falling asleep in the bathtub having a bubble bath, and Freddy comes up and puts his hand right between while she's sleeping. Right up by the hoo-ha. There we got, some carnage. Yeah, this franchise was not shy about using violence and gore and blood and splatter. The first one, to me, at least as a child, I watched this when I was a little kid. I think by the time I saw this was 1986. It was already out for a couple of years, and I think, so that would have put me at about, I don't want to give my age, but I was just a little guy. I was preteen, put it that way. And this movie scared the living hell out of me, and I'm not afraid to admit it. It scared the living hell out of me. This one did, and looking back, I think this still is a scary movie. An American Werewolf in London scared the hell out of me, but looking back on that, that's kind of silly now, but when I was a kid, and I mean, it's so much fun to be a child watching these movies and experiencing genuine fear while you're watching it as part of the fun of the experience of watching the movie. Because as you're an adult now, you know that these movies don't have the same effect. I mean, we can still love these movies. We can be fans of these movies, and we are. And we enjoy these movies. We watch them over and over. But you don't get that genuine, frightening feeling that you did when you were a child. And I kind of miss that. I wish I can go back to that and do that again. And I wish I can go back and get the first feeling that I ever had watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original from 1974. That first time seeing that scared the living hell out of me. And I wish I can go back and watch that for the first time again. But it will always have a special place in my heart. Same with this movie, same with Friday the 13th. Let's move on to the next one.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
The next one here was a really good sequel. This was probably one of the better sequels, I think, in the franchise. And this was A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. And this one came out 1 year later, 1985. This is a really... check out this cover. The Germans strike again. See the spine. They all look really good together. I mean, they're very uniform. I'm kind of OCD about that kind of stuff. Everything looks really good. Here's the DVD. Pretty cool characters in these movies. Some really good special effects, very creative kills. You have to have creative kills in a franchise like this, where you have to kill people in dreams and then turn that dream into, you know, into real life. Some of the best. I'm looking at this thinking like I want to go watch this right now. Just some of the best and the most clever kills, I would say, are in this franchise. I'm trying not to pinch the pages too much because that squeak drives me nuts, and I'm trying not to drive you guys nuts. But I don't know if you can probably tell, but these pages are super thick and glossy and really high quality. So it's like extra squeak. And I'm not complaining about the quality, I'm complaining about my squeaking. I just don't want to irritate you guys. So here's the Blu-ray. You actually, I guess you get 2 and 3 on this disc. But this Mediabook is dedicated to only Part 2. So we're going to get into Part 3 right now. So the next one is Part 3, The Dream Warriors from 1987. Another gorgeous cover. Man, this is really, really nice. There you can see the Thompson house. I guess we don't really have to look at the spine or the back because they all look the same. But here's the DVD cover art. There's Lawrence Fishburne. Oops. Oh, let me open this back up to the front. One of the Gabor sisters, I don't know if that's Jaja or I don't even remember the other one's names. Wasn't there an Eva Gabor, I believe? There might have been even a couple more, I'm not sure. That's definitely one of the Gabor sisters. I think they were Hungarian. So was Heidi, the breed of dog that Heidi is. She's called a Vizsla, which is spelled V-I-S-Z-L-A, and they're a Hungarian breed. And Hannah is a Weimaraner. She's a German breed. They're both purebreds. They're very good dogs. There are no bad dogs. There are only bad people. Dogs are gentle and loyal and smart, and dogs do have a soul. You can see it in their eyes. They listen to you. They understand you when you talk to them. You have to spend time with dogs. You have to talk to them. You have to train them. They will continue learning until the day they die, just like humans. Oh, I remember that scene. That was pretty nasty when he took out the tendons and he was walking him like a marionette, kind of like a puppet type thing. Ugh. Good God. So that was part 3, Dream Warriors. Next one is part 4, The Dream Master from 1988. Flash off of there. Oops. Got a little hand coming off his skull. 1988. First poster that I ever bought, that I bought with my own money, was A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, and I bought it at Spencer's, and I put it on the back of my bedroom door, and it was up there for a couple of years. That was a long time ago. Also, the first VHS tape that I ever purchased, brand new, happened to be A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. And I can't remember how much, but it was, and keep in mind, I was just a kid, so it took me a long time to save up for it, but I want to say it was like, I ordered it from a catalog, and it was like 60 bucks for a VHS, and that, like, it was something like that, maybe a little bit less, maybe 55-ish, something like that. It's just how much they were back then. And I don't have it to this day. It would be nice if I kept it, you know, and had it just as a, I mean, I can always go buy it on eBay, but it's not mine. You know, it's not my original one. It's out there somewhere, I'm sure, because I took really good care of it, but I don't remember what happened to it. It may have gotten tossed. I hate to think of that, but I think a lot of people tossed away VHS back in the day. And even before that, I think people were throwing away like their 8mm, the reel-to-reel. People were watching movies that way years ago. And some of that stuff is worth gold. It's like a gold mine now if you can find some of those 8mm or 16mm reel-to-reels. Some of those old Universal monsters and stuff like that. was gonna say some of the Halloween stuff, but there was a lot of like sci-fi and early horror stuff that's, you know, you can still get it. It's pretty expensive, but this was part 4, and we'll move on to part 5.
Want to suck the face?
No.
Next is The Dream Child, part 5 from 1989. Trying to focus here. That almost kind of looks a little bit like Dr. Satan. Just for a split second. Aw, isn't baby Freddy cute? I know there are Etsy sellers that can do amazing things. And I've seen, you know, some custom figures or statues and just things that they make. If you guys are ever interested, if you ever have some time to kill, just go over to Etsy and just type something in that you like, and you'll get sucked in for quite a while. Wouldn't be surprised if there was like a little Freddy. I know that the marionette scene, the one where Freddy kind of comes to life off the wall, kind of like that whitish gray figure. I know that I saw those, that somebody was selling those, and they're really cool. I didn't buy one, but it was like a 1-to-1 scale, so it was the same size as the one that they used in the movie. So that'd be pretty cool to have, I guess. So that was part 5. next one is called Part 6. It's also known as The Final Nightmare. Wes Craven's Final Nightmare. 1991, this one came out. I have a window box with a signed glove by Robert Englund and a signed 8x10 by Wes Craven. I'll show you guys that at the end of the video if you want to stick around and see that. It's one of my favorite pieces of my collection. I don't talk about A Nightmare on Elm Street very much on the channel, but I do love the franchise, and just going through this again kind of brings the feelings back. It's been a while since I've seen some of these sequels, and it's bringing a flood of feelings back for the love of this franchise and just horror movies in general. And that's why I love going through these, making these videos. It's like a video diary for my life. So that's Part 6, Final Nightmare.
Feels good, doesn't it? Come on. Let your daddy show you how to use it.
Happy Father's Day.
Hurry! Get out of here! Come on!
Kids.
Part 7 was called The New Nightmare from 1994. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Previous one, I think I said, was Wes Craven's Freddy's Dead. It was Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. And this was Wes Craven's New Nightmare. They were trying to kind of revive the franchise, kind of bring it back to its roots rather than kind of the dark humor, the silly one-liners, which were good though. I'm just saying that they were trying to kind of bring it back to the original days from 1984 when Freddy hit the scene in a big way, terrorizing people. They wanted to get that back. They never really did recapture it. I think it was more or less destined to be a dark comedy forever, you know. It's just what it is. They even tried to kind of change the design of Freddy. They almost made him look like Wishmaster to me, how they have like the kind of fluorescent eyes and that almost alien looking skin. It looks like the djinn from Wishmaster. Heather Langenkamp has sure aged beautifully. I mean, she is a doll. recognize some of these characters. There's Wes Craven, right? Let me see if I can focus here a little bit more. This gentleman right here is Wes Craven. And that was the boyfriend Rod. Oops, that was the boyfriend Rod from part 1. Let's see if we can recognize anybody else. Recognize this handsome gentleman? That is Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger. There's John Saxon, who was Mr. Thompson in the first one. There's Nancy. Anybody else we can recognize? I can't really see anybody I recognize from that photo. I think we pretty much got them. Let me focus here one more time. That was part 7. Wes Craven's New Nightmare from 1994. We got one more to show.
Were found brutally slashed to death early this morning. Freddy's glove was missing, and police are speculating the murders were the result of a botched theft, which apparently took place 2 days ago. At this point, the murder has not been
And the last one here is the remake from, I believe, 2010, the new A Nightmare on Elm Street. And this time we have Jackie Earle Haley playing Freddy Krueger. And I know this movie got a lot of hate, and including from myself, and I only watched this movie once. I didn't like it because it wasn't what I remembered as a kid. But I think this deserves a rewatch, at least from me, and I'm going to have a more open mind, and I'm going to kind of go back and watch this and enjoy it for what it is. It was never going to be the original from 1984. I was a little salty when I went in watching this, and actually I refused to buy it or watch it. It took me several years before I even bought it, and then several years after that before I even watched it. And yeah, I was a little bit salty. I'm a fanboy. I love the original. So here's the Blu-ray, just kind of a plain red. But like I said, I'll give it a rewatch. I don't expect to love it, but I think I can go through now and enjoy it, find some enjoyment in it. I think Jackie Earle Haley looks good. He looks the part. It doesn't look exactly like Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger, and it doesn't even really look very similar to that, but I think it shouldn't. You can't copy the great one, you know. You just have to let him be his own guy. Robert Englund created the character of Freddy Krueger. It's a legend. You can't try to recapture magic like that. You just have to be your own guy and do your thing. Just kind of going through this now, I'm remembering this, and it's not promising. I don't know when I'm gonna rewatch this, but I'm getting that feeling again, like I was like, oh God. But I will give it a rewatch. So I will pause it here. We'll kind of do a quick recap. We'll just do a quick relook at the covers, and then we will end the video. If you want to leave your favorite movie in the franchise, leave a comment below. If you want to do a ranking, that's fine too. I want to say thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Who the hell is that? Please, God.
This is God.